All right, our guest is an architect who has turned affinity for creativity into building exciting businesses. She studied to be an architect in Nigeria, practiced in Lagos and Abuja before heading to the UK for a master's in international architectural regeneration and development. Prior to her moving back, she had garnered, based on personal experience and interaction with other Nigerian shoppers, and from personal experience, the need to create a great and more affordable shopping experience for African women. She has also been featured on notable platforms including CNN for her strides in promoting the Made in Nigeria narrative. She was also the first place winner of the British Council Entrepreneurship Challenge, named as one of 100 most inspiring women in Africa. Let us welcome Sophia Ike-Onu. Did I get that right?
No, but you get a pass. It's fine.
All right.
Hello, beautiful.
You were close. You were close. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Tell us the correct one.
You look beautiful. You look sweet, Mama.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
International Women's Day.
Lovely to have you on the
Thank
show.
you guys. Same to you guys.
Thank you.
The correct pronunciation is Sophia. That you got right. Ike-Onu.
Okay, not
So
Onu, it's Onu.
Exactly.
All right.
Such a beautiful name for a beautiful woman.
I'm telling you. And this shade of orange looks amazing on you.
Thank you guys. As in, I'm actually blushing, literally.
You should.
All right. So that's a very great bio, by the way. That's a very good one.
Thank
So
you.
first question, I'm going to be trained to you before I let my co-anchors, Okay, as women, how can we overcome everyday biases, like in our workspaces and all? How can we do that? Did you get that?
I did. I got your question.
All
So
right.
I think that's a very broad question because biases come in different forms, and I don't think most women are really ready 100% because some things that you face are new every day. Like people keep finding different ways to channel misogyny and sexism. So I can't say there's a hard and fast answer, but I would say the first one is internalizing and understanding that you are enough. You don't come second place to someone else just because of your gender. Knowing exactly what you have to offer and not just trying every day to literally make your life better, make yourself better. So you're not coming into the workplace as a castaway. You're actually coming with a lot of things to offer. So when you have value, you can back that up literally because you have value, you're bringing value to the table, and your self-esteem is on the high. That way, it's hard for someone to come in to tell you otherwise because people will be there to tell you otherwise. Sadly, we're in a country or in a system or in a world where women are already second guessed just because they're women. So I would say the first thing to do, which should be the foundation for your other actions, would be to know who you are, make a constant effort to be better, and literally push yourself so that you're not a castaway. That's what I would.
All right. So you should be enough, feel enough
For yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you feel it inside, it shows on the outside.
All
And
right.
not come second to
right.
anybody. I love that.
All
I
right.
love that.
All right.
I love that.
Okay, so you are an architect, you are a businesswoman, you're a fashion designer and stylist. Knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently from the start? Knowing what you know now, is there a way you would have rather, done it at the beginning?
To be quite honest, no. I really feel like my journey has been a very special one, in the sense that everything that I have had to go through, it hasn't been easy because I came into the market where e-commerce or fashion, e-commerce fashion industry wasn't even a thing. People were selling on social media, but people didn't really have websites. In fact, making a structure out of e-commerce was not a popular thing to do when I started. So I would say all the lessons I had to learn on the job, some were costly lessons, but I wouldn't change anything because everything sort of went into the DNA of what my business is today, what I know and understand about the fashion business. Literally, I think every disappointment, not to sound cliche, but every disappointment turned out to be a blessing, to be honest. So, in fact, yeah, I don't think I'll change anything. Only thing the only thing I could say, maybe um, start earlier, which I think I did start early, but just for like some months, I was second guessing myself. Should I move back? Should I not? That was like the best decision I made then. So yeah, no major regrets. All just thankful and happy I took the plunge when I did. So yeah, I don't have any regrets.
So, okay, Belima.
That is very, very intelligent. That's very, very smart. Mama, you are beautiful. You are wise. You are smart. We're impacting so much from you. And I know it's not just we on the table that are impacting from you. Other listeners, other viewers, other females are impacting from you. So I just want to ask that how can we encourage other females, like other young promising females to pursue entrepreneurship in their career?
Yeah. So, first of all, I'd like to say entrepreneurship is not really, you know how people say, oh, go and study medicine, they'll push you into tech. I feel like I know based on my experience that you have to let what you enjoy doing sort of like fuel your decision to be an entrepreneur, because if you don't like doing something, you wouldn't be able to take or catch a lot of flack for it. So, like I said, it's never going to be an easy journey, especially if you're going to go into a sector that isn't really explored and you don't have a lot of case studies to look at. So, what you believe has to be the pushing factor. So, if you have an idea, you believe in the idea 100%, I would say go for it. Don't just go in blinded. Do your research. Get in touch with people that could help you. Speak to people that have gone that path before. Reach out for help. Get involved in lots of help. There's lots of free resources on the internet. There's also lots of good organizations that are offering coaching, free coaching as well. Just don't go in blind. Don't just go in because everybody's going in. Don't just go in because you think people are making money in fashion, so I have to go to fashion. When you get there, you probably get frustrated because you don't love what you're doing. That's what keeps me going. Although we've been lucky that we've been able to establish our market share early on, we've been able to have an amazing community of shoppers. But when on the rainy days, on the days that are cold and lonely, especially if you're a sole founder, the reason behind why you started will be what will keep you pushing the next day. So don't just don't just go blind. Know your onions, do your research. Don't do it because everyone is doing it. You will get tired. Go in because you actually love what you're doing. Let a passion fuel you. Is it that you can even have passion for making money. That could be what could be your fuel. But let that passion be there to sustain you because you will need it. So yeah.
Yeah, still talking on passion and everything related to like women, like let us talk about gender equality in Nigeria, especially in your careers. Like I was saying earlier, like architecture is mainly considered to be something men specialize into more often. So how does it feel being a lady in tech? How does it feel?
Okay, yeah, so there are two parts of things that I'm happy to be involved in. So architecture is a very well, now it's getting less male dominated, but it used to be hugely male dominated. My mom is actually an architect, and in her own time, she probably was always the only female in the room of engineers and the building team. It didn't change that much when I practiced because right now I'm mostly doing interior design or interior architecture. Um, it's still hard because you'll be faced with sexism, especially if you are someone that um, literally just you want to get your work done and you're not there for games. People would try, but like I said, the good thing is that if you know your onions, you know exactly you have value to add. you can detect or you can literally steer the conversations.
Let us talk about gender equality in Nigeria, especially in your career and in the society in general.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about exactly? Because it's very wide.
Okay. I would say, should we talk about gender equality or gender equity?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that people like try to make that distinction, but I think it's always good to focus on the core of the entire conversation, which is basically about women being able to make the same decisions, have access to the same opportunities their male counterparts do. And I don't even think like it's just very funny to me when people actually try to argue it. Um, Men and women have different biological makeups, yes, but we didn't have a choice in that, so it's what it is. And the conversation should be going forward. How can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
sure.
So it's just I feel like I know that it should be how can we make the workplace more conducive, like in the face of all of this. So, for example, a woman is pregnant. She is really good at her job, makes really good money for the company. Should that be a reason why she should be marked down for a promotion just because she happened to go through that biological clock, right? Um, Nowadays, when women get pregnant in some organizations, you know, they don't have access to childcare. There's lots of conversation on social media about how women have had to be put in very difficult situations just because of that situation. Now, again, we did not ask for this. It's literally was
The
given to
society
us by
has imposed
biology
on us.
or were made in that way. And should that count against us in terms of like progressing in the workplace, getting good having promotions at work, especially if you're actually still juggling all of this and putting in good work at your business or your company. So yeah, I just think that when it comes to the gender equity and equality conversation, it's just should just we should just focus on the key, which is that women and men given the same training, having the same qualifications. I'm not saying that women should be given a position because she's a woman. The women that are really doing amazing things. I have access to a lot of women that are really smart, doing amazing things in tech, in informal businesses as well, or formal businesses. And I think loans, opportunities shouldn't be counted against them just because they're a woman. And I just think that goes without saying because nobody's created unequal. We're all created and put in this world for a reason.
For a
And we
reason.
all have things that we need to fulfill, based on your destiny or your vision. And we should be allowed to do so. I particularly have been a recipient of a grant, and I wasn't given that grant in which I got first place in the British Council Enterprise Challenge. We had men, we had women. The first two actually were women, and we were not there because we had literally 3 levels or even 10 levels of selection of over 10,000 applicants, men and women. And we had international jurors that decided who was going to win. So that case, nobody is saying give it to them because they're women. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Everybody should have an equal playing field and let the best woman or man win. And by saying woman or man means everyone should be brought to the table,
Yes.
right? The men's club needs to be broken. People need to know that when I say men's club, it's literally a quote for how people just bring the deals to just men because if we're keeping it a buck, men still control the economy. So going back to liking this to like whites and blacks and slavery, but it's the same way whites have been superior for years. But if a black person happens to be in a position where they can add value and they have the same qualifications as the white man, the quota system can come in and you can give the black man. The same thing with women. If a woman, for example, by all means, she has passed through so many rigorous examinations and she's come out top, and the man is on top, I personally would give the role to a woman just because we've had years of being at the back burner. And for you to bridge the gap, to even start to talk about equity or equality in the first place, we have to have those kind of quota systems in place. Because, I mean, we don't want to talk about how when people say bridge the gap, there is a gap. There's an obvious gap. There's so many situations where the gaps, I mean, we would even have to look about domestic abuse and how women are subjected to, just literally being under a particular position because they are married. Smart women, right? There's so many structures that have literally marginalized women for years, right? So yeah, I mean, for us to even to talk about that, we have to be aware that first of all, women have not been playing on the same field for years, and that we should see them as equal. Women and men are human beings first before gender, right? So yeah, that's what I
I
think.
like that final point. Women and men are human beings before gender. Very correct. And still speaking on this particular issue, it is considered a man's world. Like, we
Yeah.
know that they have the upper hand than we do most of the time. We know there are situations that this is actually favorable for us, and there are situations whereby it can be it can be not favorable for us. Like, I feel, did this ever apply to you at any point in time whereby you feel like, okay, I am supposed to be in this position, not this man? Is it this man? Why is this man in this position? Because he is a man and I am a woman. Has anything like that ever happened to you?
I mean, the closest thing that I have probably faced when it comes to gender prejudice would be when I was working in architecture with about a firm in Ikoyi, and they would send me to do the brief development. So as an architect, when you do get a job, you're sent to your client to get a brief, literally find out what they want to do with their land and develop it. So you're going to come up with the design from conceptualization stage. And I would find that I would always be the one that they would send to get the brief development, which is good experience, to be fair. But I really wanted to be on site. I wanted to, brief development is good, but when it comes to going to the site, they would be like, oh no, let this other guys, go to site. And as an architect, you don't only want to be the person that just develops the brief and stays in the office and just draws up the work. You can actually do both. And most of the guys then that I was working with the firm, they were doing both. They would accompany me sometimes to get the brief, and when we develop it in the office. But when it comes to going to the site to actually translate your design from paper to reality, they just send the guys. So at that point, especially if you're a girl and you're happy to be in the back office and you don't really care, that's fine. But I wanted to be on site. I wanted to have practical experience, right? And if I wanted to do that, I should have been given the opportunity to do that. I shouldn't have been cut off from that just because I happen to be a woman. It's not like architects do any hard lifting on the site. If you want to go there and say, oh, you're not competent enough physically to do it. No, we literally just instruct and say where the things we designed is supposed to be and talk to the artisans and the engineers and project managers so I can do the work. So that would be one thing that was really annoying for me. And I had a chat with my principal architect and I said, I really want to do this. I said to her she was like, the guys are already there. I'm like, I designed it. I should have the right to see my design at least being actualized. And it was a lot of pushbacks before I finally got my day or my week or my month or on site. But my point is, I shouldn't have had to ask. I shouldn't have had to be because other guys didn't have to ask, right? I shouldn't have had to be just designated to go to the back office just because I'm a woman. And we're other women, and there were others that were happy to do that. But if I wanted to choose, I should have been given the choice off the bat, right? So yeah, that would be where in my business I haven't, because as I said, when it comes to creating something, the advantage that you have is that you created it. No one else knows how to create it like you will.
Exactly.
They can try to copy, which we've had plenty copiers, but like no one would know how to run your vision, especially when I had a reference about passion. Passion is so important because you can also duplicate a lot of ideas. And if you have a backing of billions of dollars like big tech companies, that's fine. You probably would get the best hands to execute. But if you are in Nigeria and Africa starting a business out of pocket, you really want to rely on your passion and the fact that you know what you're doing to get you by. So in my business, I don't think I've been privileged to work with a lot of companies or organizations that actually understand that I'm a woman and I shouldn't be dismissed because I'm a woman.
That's
So
beautiful.
I haven't actually had any, memorable experience in terms of me not getting something, because I also know that I'm very valuable and I'm bringing a lot to the table. So even that confidence, to be fair, I
Exactly.
think I think
Self-confidence is
that
needed.
I said earlier, when you are confident in what you're doing and you understand the value of the work you bring, people would realize that too. And even if they try to replace you with someone else because you happen to be a man, it's their loss, because no one can do your thing like you do, right? So that's why I said in the beginning, you need to work and make sure
Okay. So in the
you know your own.
spirit, okay, sorry. In the spirit of, it's International Women's Day, and we've been asking a lot of serious questions. I just want to know, what is the most beautiful thing to you about being a woman? Oh, this is the most beautiful thing, the most awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I cut you off? Sorry.
No,
Do
no,
you
no.
want to?
That's basically it.
I first of all, I don't think if I was given an opportunity to come back to the world, I will want to be a man. I
Love
actually
to see
love.
it.
Well said. Well said.
That came like I thought you were going to say something else.
Well said.
Oh, I think first of all, I like how transparent women are. Transparent in the sense that women I've happened to be around with, you can literally read their emotions. There's no there's no real pretense. If a woman, and that's why people always say, women, some guys that don't really know what's happening will say women hate women. And I feel like women are vocal about the things that annoy them.
They
For example, I
feel,
have
yeah.
friends that if something's affecting them, they're going to tell me, and that's how I am. I'm going to share it. Even how I lead in my organization, it's an open and safe space. I just feel like women are very open about things. So when someone is open, it helps you to understand how to be there for them, as opposed to trying to be like, oh, we don't show emotions. The emotional soft part of women is something that I really like. And I also like that women are very driven. I don't know if it's obviously it's not down to gender, but I feel like when it comes to like the strength a woman possesses, you can see the strength in very many ways, like childbirth. I used to be really scared of that because you hear so many stories, and I'm wondering, how are women this strong, right? You can face thousands.
Right.
When you look at one of the most difficult or dangerous surgeries in the world, is actually childbirth. Like or procedures, childbirth. So the fact that we have to go through it. It's not like you have a choice. You have a choice not to give birth, of course, but if you decide to have kids, you have to go through it. So
Yep.
the sheer strength of women is something I really admire. And of course, how beautiful we are.
Thank
All women.
you.
Oh yeah, I really believe that. All like I'm always in awe because I have a fashion business, as you know, and I meet different women, from the people I work with, people I employ as models, the photographers we work with as well, and there's just beauty everywhere. Our bodies are just amazing. The way our minds work. So, like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. In another life, I
So
would.
many accolades for women.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We really enjoyed talking to you. We really had fun. We really, I think we really had more information and more knowledge about these things and things you've
Thank
gone
you.
through, things we are probably going to go through, and things we're
Yeah.
still onto at the moment. So, but before we let you go, actually, I would like to ask you, what's your main advice to young women out there? What's your main advice to them?
Do not settle. I love like this advice has been something that nobody told me, but it's something that I've always said to myself in every area of life. And when it could be cliche to say do not settle, but you might say that it's out of the point of privilege. But even in the hardest times, when people would want to throw in the towel, when you think about the fact that I have so much to offer, right? Like, if I settle for this now, what if I have to wonder in the future what could have been if I pushed? And I'm not even saying, like, I also think there's a place for you to say fail fast. So if something is not working out for you and you believe that this vision that I have is not really right for the market, I don't have the perfect market fit, it's okay for you to say, I'm stopping this and I'm not going to put more money in it because it's a smart thing to do. But it's also okay for you to be like, I could try one more, like, I could push. So just push.
Yeah.
Like, people always want to just, like, if you hear no the first time, I have had my fair share of no's. People just think, oh, because of the outside, they see, okay, really amazing business. I've had really good opportunities in my career in business, but there's a lot of no's behind a lot of those yeses. And the fact that you believe so much, again, I'm dialing back to passion. The fact that you believe so much in what you're doing, that would help you to navigate those no's and look for the yeses. The issue is if you do not believe enough and then you stop at the no's.
No,
But then
exactly.
you always wonder what could have been. And what, I mean, there's so many case studies of people that have heard no's. The billionaires now have had to go through 1,000 no's before they got their big
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Just wait for your big yes and push for it, I would say.
All right.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, Sophia. Thank you so much. It was nice to have you. And happy
Thank
International
you.
Women's Day to you again.
Happy International Women's Day, guys. Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Yeah, that
All
was a very
right.
insightful one. Thank you so much. Bye. All right, tea time continues right after this music break. We'll be right back.